documenting your life, think of what happens when you leave that to grandkids, to great-grandkids, to just your children, to know what your life was like, what you did, right, for 20, 30 years of your working life. But for him, for sure, it's really about, right, showing people how to build business. That's why I've always liked what he does, because he shows you the ins and outs of building a company. He's taken 2 companies from nothing to something. He took his dad's business when you were watching Wine Library. Mm-hmm. He took his dad's wine business from, right, $3 million in revenue to $60 million over a 10-year period. Mm-hmm. And then left that, started a digital media agency called VaynerMedia. So what they $100 million in revenue by this thesis, by actually doing business. So that's why I started watching him. I started watching him because, just like you said, the stuff he said made sense for business, not for motivation, but for business. Like, it makes sense. And he always says, don't listen to what I say, watch what I do.
Suited and booted.
Ready to go, man. Always dressing to impress. You won't believe how old this suit is, though. This suit's like 20. And this suit, like, it's like almost 10 years old.
Yeah?
This suit, like 8 or 9 years old.
God damn.
No, I just never change, right? Like, I fluctuate in size. I basically stay the same size.
Yeah.
Let's
check him out.
Long time.
There you go.
Like, by the way, let's make this content right here, right now, because this is it, right? Like, I'm not fronting. I'm not trying to put on that, like, I'm bigger than I am. Look at the car. Let's get the car. I drive a 2008 Toyota Camry. It's got 113,000 miles on it. My suit has been as an 8-year-old suit, 9-year-old suit. I ain't buying all fresh gear all the time, right? My shoes is a year old. Look, they got scuffs on the front, right? Like, when you're doing this, I'm not faking this. You're gonna see it happen, and it's gonna get to a bigger point, but I got nothing to hide, right? This is where we start. This is the starting point. And because this is the starting point, I want y'all to follow the journey. So that's why we're doing it. Because we drove here. That's how we got here.
Oh.
It's so funny. Like,
yeah.
People don't know like how much that, like, your career, like what you choose,
oh my gosh,
like,
yeah,
will affect your life.
Well, yeah, I would come home and my kids would, Mom, I'm like, Mom's not here yet. Like, Mom needs some time to process her day. Yeah. So when I put my resignation in there, I was just like, I'm not working for anybody. I refuse to put applications in, and I knew I wanted my own business.
Every week, if it's a busy week for you, don't feel like you need to schedule appointments, but schedule in licensing, right? Schedule in, like, I'm gonna do 2 hours this day, so I'll just be sitting at home and I know I can just knock out licensing, right? But if it's not about scheduling, do something. And then I'm gonna put you on a personal development plan, right? So we're gonna get books, audios, things that you can be feeding your mind at the same time we're growing in business. This is one big process. That's why it takes time. Right? It takes time. That's why I have empathy, and I understand, because for people like us, like, we want to get things done, right? You know what I mean? We're not, because this is years of me, like, learning new things, but you will have a basic understanding. Like Adrian, when he saw you, he was like right after his 10th appointment. An hour a day, 7 days, right? You play that out, it'll take you 5 years to get to mastery, 7 years to get to mastery. The more that you put time in up front, the quicker you get to mastery. Really about how many hours can you put in once you get to that point. But for now, step by step. Yeah. Because I came full time so quickly, I've just had more time to master, because then once you're full time, like, what else do I have?
Right.
It's, again,
I'm not gonna make something up.
It's repetition. It's repetition. You're not gonna be perfect after 10. But then from those 10, you'll have a foundation. We've probably have seen or heard most questions, because again, there's only probably 7 to 10 per year, but I'll still text her anyway.
All right,
okay?
sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Nice seeing you. Take it easy.
Take care. That's what we do. This is it. It's day in, day out, right? It's training people. It's getting people to the next level. It's coaching, mentoring, right? Like, hopefully you got that clip. Did you get that last car?
Yeah, when you was talking, I got that.
Right? Like, that's what it is. It's days of that. It's weeks of that. It's years of that. Constantly, over and over and over again, get someone else to the next level. right? Giving people knowledge, giving people information. Like, that's what they need. They need somebody to hold their hand and walk them all the way through and give them confidence that, like, hey, this is going to be okay. We're going to get you there. Just follow my direction, follow my lead. That's mentorship. That's real mentorship. Just yet, but it's going to get there, right? We've seen him get busier. You're going to watch me get busier, just to be honest, right? You're going to watch me get busier. It's just the way that it's going to happen, and that's going to create a lot of good content.
Want me to put it back like classroom style?
So I just want it so that everyone can face me that way.
Okay.
Okay, so like if it's like a U.
I was going to say you, we do that. Yeah, I can do you.
U shape is probably the best with the center, so I could kind of walk in the center, and then projection right on that wall.
And then you said you have a Mac. Okay, I have the cord for that, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yes. I've never actually used it. You have to go in the settings and play with it a little, but you might be more tech savvy than me.
I'm used to some of that stuff.
But yeah, once you come in tomorrow with your computer, I'll show you how to turn that on, and then you'll be good to go.
And so
we'll do a U.
Do a U.
How many
chairs all the way around.
How many people do you think I should prepare for?
But what I do for a living is I help people understand what their end goal is, right? When I say that word, ideal, perfect life, right? Like if money, time, like situation were not even in consideration, you just fast forwarded the clock 10 years from now, what is the picture that you would like to see that would be perfect, right? Not what we think is attainable, and not what, right, our limit, because we're born, and when, especially where we come from, right, we get limitations put on us in our mind all the time, right? So typically people don't know what they actually want, but you know what you don't want, right? And our subconscious mind will only know, it doesn't know the word don't, right? So if you're thinking about what you don't want, say I don't want to be in the hood, but you're thinking about being in the hood, that's exactly what your mind will give you more of. We have to train our mind how to only think about what we actually do want. So when I tell people and teach people, like, perfect life, right? If nothing, like, would you be in Philly or would you be on the beach? Like perfect life. Like, yeah, and this is the thing, like with the kids, like, yeah, we don't want to put a time on the kids. Kids are built, like all that stuff. But like, would you want to be raising kids at some point? And like, do you see yourself being a dad? Do you see yourself being, right? You have to always, that's the dreaming part of life that I feel like we've neglected, and no one's teaching our youth, no one's teaching us how to do that. How do I dream about what I really want in life? Not what I think I could have, but what I really actually want. That's a big question. And I'll tell you, from your age, I sit down with people in their 50s that still don't know how to answer that question. I remember sitting down with a lady in her 50s. She was upset because she married the wrong guy, basically. That's what she, yeah. She'd been married for 20 years. He didn't support her dreams. 20 years later, she's in a position where she's like, I don't like my life. So I would ask her, then where do you want to be? She doesn't know how to answer me, because she's been so focused on what she doesn't want, that she now doesn't know what she does want. And that's an issue. And it's actually happening to the youngest of the youth in all of our areas. No one's teaching them how to dream about their perfect life, their ideal life. And that's where and then because they have no clarity, right? The only way you reach your goals is if you have clarity on your goals. And the reason why they don't reach goals, why most people just wander through life, because they have no clarity about where they're going. It's literally that simple. Now that's not easy. It's not an easy process. There's a difference between being easy and being simple, right? It's a simple thought, but it's not easy to then start to construct like where you really want to be. But once you do, I'll tell you, once you understand where you want to be, life opens up.